Hi, everybody. I'm Suzanne Shirley, Emerald Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. We're here tonight to discuss chapters 3 and 4 of this incredible book, Get Over Your Damn Self, by Romi, Neustadt. I will have to say this. I want to say this. I'm reading and I come across every now and then a bad word or two or phrases. And if I try not to highlight them because I know I'm going to teach over this. I don't curse in general in my discussion, but they're in here. So it's going to be hard. I hope that I don't let some slip, in other words, okay? But she really does make a point by using a few curse words. That's just her personality. I think that's why she wrote the book like this. It's her personality. So she's a little sassy, as you noticed. All right, so chapter 3 focuses on making your list, because your list is your life. And I love the way that she talks about the list being your life. The next chapter is chapter 4, talking about cultivating your own story. You have to have a story, and there's a way that she really advises to cultivate it so that you have it ready to tell people. And I love how she gives examples of how to share your story. So let's get right into the meat and potatoes of this. Your list needs to be a long one, and it needs to be considered your lifeline. Your list is your lifeline. It's truly the life of your business, so make sure it's a long one. It's a living, breathing thing that you should be consulting, updating, and tweaking daily. So I had an Emerald message me today, and I'm going to just tell you what she said to me. And I think that all of you can handle this. And if you can't handle this, then you need to really consider. I know that everyone's at a different stage in their business. But she said, Suzanne, I want you to come on and Zoom with my team. I've got some really excited people. A handful of them know what they've gotten into. The rest of them think that they can just message 2 or 3 people a day and earn a 6-figure income. And she said, I want you to come in there and tell them that you can't just message 3 people every single day and expect to get to a 6-figure income. Okay, now, I'm going to just preface this by saying you can get to 6 figures by messaging 3 people a day, but it's going to take you a long time. So your list needs to be really long, and you need to attack it. You need to attack it daily. I ran across an IPA sheet. I'm going to just kind of show you. I know that I'm not going on to the book right now. Hang on. I'm going to pull it up, and I want you to see it. No, that's not it. Hang on. I got it. There's an IPA. Hang on. I'm looking for it. I want you to see it. All right. I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to share my screen. I want you to see what I'm talking about. All right, take a look at this. Monday, how many people is the person reaching out to? 10. Add 8 new Facebook friends, comment in Facebook groups, and friend 1 in the Facebook group. Notice they're friending 8 on Facebook. They're friending 1 in a group, and they're commenting in groups. They're cold messaging 5 to 10 people. Following up with 3 to 5 customers and 3 to 5 cold prospects, following up with the cold prospects that are over there in column 1. And then finally, a call or a Zoom to onboard levels 1 to 4, 1 each day. Meaning, I would say those are third-party calls, 3-way calls, 3-way chats, that kind of thing. Okay? Helping duplication in your downline. So this is what it looks like for someone who's trying to achieve Jewel. If you want to not take, 8 years to get to Emerald, you're going to have to up your game. You're going to have to make your list big. You're going to have to really start using the memory jogger that she talks about. Daily add new people to your list, friend new people on Facebook. This is what we do on social media. And really attack messaging. You're going to have to start cold messaging a lot more than what you're doing. If you're starting out with 3 to 5, 5 is better than 3. 3 is better than none. So I want to just say that 3 is better than none, 5 is better than 3. But if you can get to 10, you are, now I know that's a challenge, but really how hard is it to say to 10 people after you've talked to them on your Facebook list? And by the way, this is every day they're doing this. So by the end of the week, Monday through Friday, you've got 50 new reach outs. So the next week, you're going to have to follow up with 50 people. And that next week, you're going to reach out to 50 more. And the week following, you're going to follow up with that 50. And you're going to just, by the end of 4 weeks, you're going to have reached out to how many people? 200 people. Now that's aggressive. That's aggressive. That's more than what I did in the last 90-day challenge. I think I reached out to a total of 300 people in 90 days. So I did not hit 10 people a day. This is an aggressive list. But if you want to go aggressive, I mean, it says cold messaging 5 to 10. Do you see that? 5 to 10. So even if you did 5 a day, okay, so if you did 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, so that's 25 people. The next week, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. That's 25 people. That's 50 now. And by the end of the month, you'd have 100. If you include Saturdays, that's another 5. So, I mean, we're talking aggressively attacking your list and going at it. And remember what Romi Neustadt said in chapter 1. I'm going to stop my screen share. Remember what she said in chapter 1, that she laughs when a mom that joins her team who has little ones that go down for their nap. And she says, I laugh when they say that they think they're going to earn a 6-figure income during the 1 hour a day that their kids go down for a nap. So we need to take it very seriously. The list is extremely important. It's our lifeline. And if we don't have a list that's big enough, we won't be able to reach out to 100 a month. Where's the next 100 coming from? Where's the next 100 going to come from? We're going to have to expand that list. So, all right. So back to what she was saying. And another way to think of it is like it's your bank account. As you make withdrawals, take people off your list, meaning they sign up, they become a customer or an ambassador, you take them off your list. You've got to make deposits. You're always adding new people. And that's what was on that DMO sheet, which I talked about it. Yes, I will. I will share it with you. In fact, I think it is in the 90-day challenge group in the files section. Somebody go and check on it and text me back here if it's not. Okay. I think it's in the file section. I have preloaded so many things in that file section. It's insane. There's so much stuff in there for you to use. So creating your master list, the best thing that you can do for yourself and your future business partners is to keep a very thorough master list. This includes every human that you know. I know that sounds crazy. Every human that you know. Our mind is not able to recall every human that we know right now, but you will recall them. The more you think about them, the more you jog your memory. Whether it's a close relationship or just simply an acquaintance. The key is not to prejudge who goes on the list. So don't ever say, well, they've got too much money, they don't need this. They don't have enough time, they don't need this. They're already healthy, they're marathon runners, they don't need this. Don't do that. If you pre-qualify people on your list, you're not going to be able to make a list. You're going to kill yourself before you get started. So there's no way for us to predict who will be interested in what part of our business. The majority of Romi Neustadt's monthly income comes from the teams of 3 people that she never even thought would be interested in starting their own turnkey enterprise. Okay, so you need to realize that any person could surprise you and literally take off and run a business. So you need to never pre-qualify people. Another thing is that categorizing all your people before you put them on the list is just going to consciously or unconsciously cause you to tailor your conversation, and you're going to like subconsciously you're going to choose how that person becomes involved. You don't want to do that. Okay. All right. So not that particular one. Okay. I'm going to add that. So don't worry. I will add it. I promise. Right as we get off of here. So what you need to do is you need to be more effective if you lead with the business and default to the product. So you're going to be a lot more effective if you lead with the business and then default to the product. And you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't have a business testimony. How do I do that? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You have stories of other people that you can tell. You have your own story that you can tell. Most of you have earned some paycheck. You know you're going to earn another paycheck, the paycheck is going to come to you because you're doing XYZ. You can tell people that the average ambassador earns $500 in Plexus, and that is the truth. So right there, people can expect to earn a paycheck in Plexus. They just can. Keep in mind, okay, now, write down everybody that you know with skin, says Romi Neustadt to her people. Why? Because she has a skincare company. That's what they rep. They rep a skincare company. They have skincare products. So that's kind of funny. Write down everybody you know that has skin. How about write down everybody you know that has a GI tract? Write down everybody you know who eats. Okay, so there you go. That's everybody. Put stars by your top 30 dream teamers. That's people that are influential, people that have a lot of friends, people that are charismatic and would easily share and become passionate, people that are passionate about something, people that have that love what they do, people that really are out there. Okay, those are your dream teamers. Keep in mind, you have no earthly idea if these people will actually want to do this with you, but that's not the point. You're going to identify them as part of your dream team, just like in a fantasy football league. So like my husband goes in there and makes his fantasy football league sheet roster, and he joins I think he joins 10 different fantasy football leagues. And there's 3 of them that he actually has meetings with his people that join the league. And they sit down and they have a phone conversation on a 3-way or 10, whatever conversation. It's like a conference call. And they all take turns and they decide who they're going to take and why. They all have a discussion. So it's like, I'm taking this one because these are dream teamers. So think about that. Okay, also, you can identify who on your list would be part of a dirt list. I love how she comes up with this. What's a dirt list? These are people who love and support you so much that if you were selling dirt, they're going to support you. Okay, your dirt list. If you're going to sell dirt, these are the people that would buy it from you. Okay. So that is really, really important. And you might want to sit down with your new prospects when they're creating their dirt list. These are people that they know would buy anything from them if they were selling dirt. Then you need to sit down with them and help them make their dirt list and start helping them make a phone call. Call up those people on the dirt list and help them to do it. Let them know that they can earn as they learn. And that's really, really important. Okay. It's really fun. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to kill you at all. So it's okay if you don't know that much yet in the beginning. Your business partner does most of the talking. And that's what I tell every brand new ambassador that comes on and joins me. You can literally not know a thing. Just tell me who needs Plexus and put them in a 3-way chat with me, and I will answer their questions. And you sit back, introduce me to them, and just zip it and let me sponsor them for you. And you just watch me talk to them and ask them what they do, what their interests are, what they want out of this. I'll share my story. They can talk to me a little bit, answer my questions, and I'm going to sit back and listen to them. What is it they're lacking? And then we're going to go in and meet their needs. And that newbie is going to listen to me while I sponsor that prospect. Okay. And they're going to learn. So they're going to learn as they earn. Now she calls this, excuse me for saying BS. Now I did say that in my classroom. I would say the acronym, but I would not say the actual word, what BS stands for. But I just would call people, I'm sorry, that's BS. And that's what she does. What does she call BS? The person who says, I can't come up with more than 25 people. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm going to call you out on the mat. That's BS. You can come up with more than 25 people. A New York Times article reported that the average American knows about 600 people, and that is the truth. I mean, just me, I wrote down 900 and something names just from my Facebook, and I'm not finished. I'm not finished with that. That's former students, colleagues, church members, childhood friends, you name it, friends of spouse, friends of friends, friends of parents, friends of everybody, okay? You know at least 600 people, okay? People whose professions require people to cultivate their networks. That's who you're looking for. People whose professions require them to cultivate networks. That's what you're going to be doing. Your profession is now requiring you to cultivate a network. So you are required to do that. That is part of your job description. If it's never been something you've done, guess what? It will be you now. You can do this. You can cultivate a network. TheKnot.com, that's a website, TheKnot.com, K-N-O-T. In 2013, Real Wedding Study reports that the average wedding has 138 guests. So if you can get 138 average people in a church, I can guarantee you're going to know a buttload more people that you've invited on that list that didn't show up. Okay, so there's a bunch of people that you're going to invite to your wedding. So she says, quote, don't tell me that you don't know at least 200 humans on this planet. And that's just for starters. Just don't tell me that, she says. You're likely to think of new people every day, and at least once a month, you need to sit down and just methodically add people to your list by jogging your brain. Memory jogger. There's one that I've loaded into the 90-day challenge by Eric Worre. It is an extensive memory jogger. If you have not used that, you need to use that and help to reproduce, recreate, revamp, and add to your Frank's list. Okay? Try coming up with at least 4 new names in each category during your monthly session when you sit down and do this. Do that, and you'll have more than 100 new people to reach out to. And then she talks about these categories on the next 2 pages. Then she says, create your chicken list. If you don't reach out to your chicken list, the people that you're too afraid to talk to will get what? Guess what? They're going to join somebody else. They're going to join somebody else. Somebody else's team, somebody else's customer, somebody else's connector to another runner. They're going to be involved in somebody else's network, and that person will grab them up. So you need to reach out to a chicken lister. If one of them comes across your mind, do not wait. Do it then. Do it right then. Reach out to them right then and there. What do you got to lose? What do you got to lose? Okay. Let me just tell you this. Let me just use this analogy. When I went up to we were newly married, and we went up to, in church, we had a Sunday school teacher. His name was Ken Shiplett, and he's amazing. And I talked to him about somebody that I was really afraid of, intimidated to share the gospel with. I was just really intimidated because this person was so, knowledgeable, extremely scientific, all of these things. And I was just so intimidated. I was in my late 20s, and I felt it was a calling on my heart to share the gospel with this person I loved dearly, but was intimidated. And he said to me, what are you going to do, Suzanne? Send him off to hell number 2? Okay, so I'm going to ask you the question. What do you got to lose, all right? So that they either join you eventually, or they say no, or they don't say anything. And if they are rude to you, then you don't want them on your team. I mean, seriously, don't worry about what they think about you. Just get over your damn self and reach out to your chicken listers right away. Don't wait. Go ahead and do it. What are you waiting for? Start dripping plexus on them now. Tell them how much you believe in them and how much you admire them and how you were scared to reach out to them. But that's the stupidest thing ever, because they're just a regular person just like you are. And that that they would be super blessed by this opportunity and these products, and that they would be super amazing at it. Right? So whatever your wording is, or your verbiage. It's not just conjecture, it's fact. So she says, so get over your damn self, quit making up stories in your head about what the chicken list people will say or think or do. Just take action. The very reason that they're on your chicken list is probably because it's the very reason that you need to reach out to them. That's why they're on your list in the first place. So she says, I promise you will not die. Just freaking do it. Just do it, right? And she says, don't be chicken, S word. I'm not going to say that. I just can't do it. Don't be chicken, S word. It's going to cost you millions and keep you from living the life you really want. So don't be a chicken. Just do it. Do it. Okay? Then, now you're going to have to learn how to manage your master list. All right? Come up with a better list management system. You've got to come up with a management system. Somehow, some system, somewhere. Since you're going to want to take notes on what you've done to talk about, like if you've gone and talked to Cindy, Jennifer, and Ruth Ann, for example. Well, you can't just have messages in your phone. You need to write down somewhere what you said to them, if they said something back, what you sent to them, how they responded, etc. So you're going to need some sort of a system to keep track of that. Any other important notes that you're going to want to write down? You're going to want, like, when you want to follow up 2 months from now, follow up next month, follow up July 2017. That's what I always do on my note cards. There's got to be room for that info and the ability to edit that information there in your system. So you have different options. You got a note card system. That's one of the things that I use. A notebook with notes after every name. So you're going to have a notebook that's big enough to where you've got space to write for every single name that you're going to write down and use. What about an Excel spreadsheet? You can use that. I am so not into that. That is so not my thing. If I had an Excel spreadsheet, I think I would die. I would never be successful with that. I need to have a piece of paper somewhere. Either it's got to be in a notebook, it's got to be on a note card someplace. No matter what you end up using, understand that you may have lists that you will create all over the place. So I felt so good when I saw that. You're going to have lists that you create all over the place. And I have lists in every notebook known to man that's on my table right here. And that's what led me to making the Frank's list in one notebook, and it's what led me to making an index card system. So I use that. And now I'm giving it all I've got, but I'm not completely successful using this DMO guide, DMO success guide, okay? I'm thinking that's going to make me accountable. All right, so now you're going to add to that list every single day. You're going to add to that list. Instead of driving through the outside bank window or the Starbucks drive-through, go inside and stand in line where you're going to meet some other human beings. If you work from home, take turns working at different cafes or chit-chat with people next to you. Get involved in hobbies that involve people. Accept an invitation when it's sent to you. When you're on an airplane, don't just sit there and fall asleep and put in your earbuds until you've had a thorough conversation with all the people around you. Keep falling in love with people, connecting with them, learning about them, and discovering whether you have something of value to them. Okay, get this, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, here's some honesty for you. I get on planes sometimes. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to put in my earbuds and read my book because I don't have Wi-Fi access and I can't get on my phone and do work. This is uninterrupted time for me to have personal growth. I would much rather be quiet and watch something and listen to something and read something than sit there and gab and be selfless, because I know that it takes being selfless to listen to somebody and ask them questions. But that's what we need to do. What if you met a future diamond sitting next to you on an airplane? What if you met a future rock star when you walked into the grocery store and you just didn't bother to have a conversation with them? What if you were to meet somebody that's going to be influential, that will change the face of your business, but you were too inside of yourself to reach out and be selfless and start making conversation and asking them questions? So get over your damn self and do it. Preaching to self at the same time, okay? She says, I get it. You're tired. I get it. It's snowing. You've been talking to people all week. Your kids have sucked at every remaining bit of energy out of you that you've had. Your couch and your favorite movie are calling your name. But remember how badly you want this, and get your ass out there, she says. Get your ass out there and start talking to people. Okay? The days of getting your butt out there when you're looking like a mess, they're over, according to Romi, because we take our business with us wherever we go. You cannot go out looking like a mess. You've got to do your hair, put on some makeup. You don't have to look like dressing like the nines. You just can't look like you rolled out of bed and put on, 2 weeks ago's clothes. You've got to have something on that's decent and look decent. We need to be ready to make new friends. We got to be presentable. That's all she's saying. Be presentable all the time. Simply, you're going to need to feel confident and make the other person that you encounter think that you got your act somewhat together. So you're going to feel like you've got your act together if you look like you do, right? Start friendly conversations. So if you don't know how to start a friendly conversation, start practicing it. If you don't go into Plexus, don't go into Plexus. Just start friendly conversations. Everywhere you go, see if the person responds in kind. Right? If they don't, then we know that they wouldn't be any good at what we do. Just today, I went over to the Office Depot to mail Lori's present for her senior gold gift. And there was a kid behind the counter. He was like 22, 21. And he saw that I was mailing something to Massachusetts. And he's like, oh, East Hampton. I'm from around there. I said, really? I said, where? He's like, Springfield. I said, yeah, awesome. Like, what is it, like Amherst and all those areas? Like, oh yeah, all those little towns. He said, actually, I'm getting ready to move to Worcester. And I said, I know where Worcester is. It's in the middle. It's right. You can drive like an hour and you're in Boston. He's like, exactly. I said, what are you doing here in Oklahoma? He's like, I was going to, Oral Roberts University. And I told him, I said, there's no Oral Roberts University up in the Northeast. He said, you're darn right about that. And I said, awesome, great. And so I just started talking to him. I'm like, so are you interested? Would you be open to looking into something, if on the side, if it didn't interfere with what you're normally doing? He's like, well, I've got a job lined up that I'm getting ready to go at the end of this summer. It starts in September. It's at blah, blah, blah corporation. I'm going to be doing X, Y, Z. I said, well, would you be open? I notice I didn't say interested because I lead with the business. I do not talk about my product testimony. Would you be open to taking a look at something that would help you to earn some extra income on the side if it didn't interfere with what you're already doing? Write that down. Would you be open to taking a look at something that would maybe earn you some extra money or an extra income stream on the side if it didn't interfere with what you're already doing? I do not talk about the product. They can get healthy as a default. Our products are the reason we're here, but I lead with the business because I don't need to have more wholesale buyers. I need business builders. If they're interested in earning some extra money and doing something, if it didn't interfere with what they're already doing, that is, by the way, a tagline used by Ray Higdon. And who else did I hear? Bob Heilig. Write it down. Would you be open to taking a look at something that would earn you an extra stream of income on the side if it didn't interfere with what you're already doing? Yes or no? No. Great. I don't need you then. If you say no, make pleasantries, move on, and you have been saved by the day because you don't want to talk to somebody that is not open to looking at it. If they say no, if they say I might be, what is it? You don't tell them what it is. You say, hey, I got to run. That's a line that you're going to use. You got to run. You always got to go. I got to run. I got to make a phone call. I got to go to a doctor's. I got to pick my kid up. I got to run. I got to run. So then you're going to say, what's your email or your phone number? Or, hey, if you're on Facebook, let's Facebook each other. And I'll just send you some information. If it's for you, great. If it's not, no problem. That's what you do. You do not tell them what it is. You do not sit there and say, here's the product, here's what we do, here's how you take it, here's what it did for me, here's blah, 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 here's what, and on my first month I earned this, and I had this testimony, and my friend did that, and blah. No, forget it. You're not going to tell them anything. Do you hear me? Nothing. Zero. You're going to just simply say this. You're going to simply say this. If they say, yeah, I might be, what is it? That's always what they say. I might be, what is it? You say, hey, I got to run. But what I'll do is this now is not the time or the place. I got to run. I will send you some information. Are you on Facebook? Boom. Friend them. Add them to your audience. Take a screenshot of their personal profile so that you will be able to text them when you walk out of there. Or, hey, I'm not on Facebook, says the guy. Then you say, great. Give me your email address or your phone number, whichever. And get that down. Take a screenshot so you'll remember that's somebody you got to add to your Franks list. You got to text them the moment you walk out of there. Hey, Joe, it was so great chatting with you today at the Office Depot. Hope you have a great evening. I'm going to send you that information real soon. Boom. And then later on that night, maybe an hour or two later, send them the information. Hey, Joe, here's the information you were looking. What are you going to send them? A video. Third-party tool. You don't send them. Here's what the Plexus business did for me. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the product. No, you don't talk about yourself. You send them a video. Send them a video. That's a industry video, something that Plexus Corporate did. Maybe the 15-minute snapshot of Plexus that Chris and Susie McCall did. Notice your testimony is not in there. You don't share your testimony. You need third-party validation. You need other people's stories. So that's what you send them. And then what are you going to do? You're going to follow up the next day. You're going to say, hey, Joe, tell me, what did you love? You're not going to say, what did you think about the video? What did you think about the video? They're going to say, I hated it. It was stupid. I don't want to be any part of that. No, you're going to say, hey, Joe, tell me what you loved about that video. What jumped out at you? Have you had a chance to watch it? And then he's going to say, I haven't had a chance to watch that yet. And you're going to say, great, no problem. Hey, you think you'll have it watched by tomorrow at 4 o'clock? I'll just text you one more time and see if you had a chance. And guess what? If they haven't watched it, you don't need to keep texting them. Just go get somebody else, because I don't know if they're going to watch it. They're going to, let them watch your posts on Facebook. Let them, go in there and comment on their timeline. But don't keep texting, hey, did you watch the video? What'd you think? You just keep on doing it every 2 or 3 days. They're going to think you're desperate. So quit. Ask them once, follow up once. If they say, hey, I haven't had a chance to do it, no problem. Do it one more time. If they I haven't watched it yet. They're not gonna. Newsflash. Move on. Go get you somebody else. Okay? Now that's the Suzanne Shirley Cliff Notes. Did you get all that down? Hello. Did I go crazy or what? Did it look like my head was exploding? Mary? Did it look like my head was exploding? Okay. All right. So back on target. What was I saying? What was I saying? Don't vomit all over them about the business. I just said that. I just basically told you everything in the chapter pretty much here. Here's something that she likes to do. Instead of finding a reason to exchange contact info, you can follow up with them another time. Just say she calls it getting digits, getting their phone number, right? She loves to ask somebody if they're local. Hey, are you local? It's one really great question you can ask. Hey, are you local? Hey, no, I'm not local. I live in such and such. They're going to tell you where they usually come from. And that's going to leave you an opportunity to mention, well, hey, my business is expanding in Worcester. I'd love to pick your brain sometime about who you know there or who might be a great fit for what I do. Let's exchange contact info. So notice that you're not saying, is it for you? I'd like to see if it's for you. I need your phone number. I'd love to pick your brain about who you might know in that area. I'm expanding my business in that area. I'd like to pick your brain about who you might know there that might be open to be a great fit. I like that word, be a great fit for what I do. Let's exchange contact info. Then you just go on home. Add that person as a Facebook friend. Put it in your calendar, a reminder to call them the next day or so. she says, I meet a lot of new people by offering to be a resource for them, like offering to send them stuff. Like if they say, hey, I'm looking for a really good doctor that really specializes in whatever, then, you know, especially if it's on Facebook, then you need to go out there and say, hey, I know several people in this area that would be great at that, whatever. Be a resource, provide value, add value to them, get their information. Now you've got their phone number. You can contact them about something they need. So if you ever see any of your friends asking for help, who do you know? What's going on in the area? Does anybody know a good fish market? Does anybody know a great place where you can buy fresh produce that's non-GMO, whatever? Does anybody know whatever? Then yeah, oh my gosh, let me send you hey, send me your number and I'll give you all the information about it. See, you're exchanging digits. When you're out and about, you're bound to run into people that you know have a lovely conversation instead of a lovely salad, Susie McCrae, right? A lovely conversation, and then throw this in, quote, I was actually going to reach out to you. This is somebody you already know. You ran into them out in the public. Hey, you know what? I was actually going to reach out to you. I've started a new business. I'd love to pick your brain. Can I give you a call tomorrow morning? Which time works better for you, 9 or 10:30? I was going to reach out to you anyway. So another key still is keeping your ears open. You got to keep your ears open. We hear this from all the time. People are talking about what's hurting them, what they're sick of, what they're tired of, right? Somebody says, I don't have time. They're like, you listen for some opportunities to offer up solutions to somebody's problem. Like if somebody says, I never have any time to do whatever. They're standing in line somewhere and they're talking about whatever, they're complaining. My head is killing me. Hey, I might have something to help. What if I told you I'd had something to help with that? You know, no time to tell you about it now. What's your Facebook? Let me Facebook it to you and I'll tell you about it later. I got to run. Okay, I never have time to do anything. I'm always strapped for time. Hey, what if I had something that could really help you out in that area? Well, what is it? Well, I don't have time to say it right now. I got to run. But hey, give me your Facebook information. I'll get back with you. And I'll send that information to you. And you can see if it's something you'd be open to. Okay? That's the answer to everything. Listen, keep your ears open for people that are talking about their problems. Okay, so here's an example, little script that she gives you. You need to take notes of these, underline them in the book, write them down, stick them on a note card, say them over and over until you get the hang of it. They're virtually the same in every aspect. They have just slight different wording because it's a different scenario. Maybe you should take a look at what I do. You might be able to build a side business that could set you free from your rigid work schedule. This is a guy who doesn't have time. I don't know if you'd be interested or not, but it's probably worth a look. Let's exchange contact info, and I'll give you a call tomorrow night. What time's better for you when the kids go to bed? What time is the best time for you after the kids go to bed? Somebody says, I never get to take any vacations. I never get to go anywhere. Okay, you hear people complaining about that. Maybe you should take a look at what I do. See how it's the same thing, just slightly worded differently. You could build a side biz that could fill vacation funds, even one day give you more time freedom. I don't know if it'll be a good fit for you, but it's worth a look. Let's exchange contact info and I'll follow up when we get back into our real lives. Okay. Recently I talked with a gal who I went and tried on dresses before convention. I was looking for a green dress and I ended up buying a couple of things, and she was at Dillard's, and she really sounded interested, like she wanted to meet me for breakfast or coffee. And I contacted her the next day or the week after that because I told her I was going to be leaving out of town. She said, so will I. So I contacted her the week that we got back, and she gave me an excuse. She said, well, I'm really going to be so busy in the next couple of weeks. Call me in a couple of weeks. No problem. I did. I texted her a couple of weeks later, and I said, hey girl, if you still want to meet with me, I've got a calendar. It fills up. If you want a piece of it, you got to tell me when you want it, and I'll look into it and see if I've got an available time slot. Do you still want to meet? I do, but I've got so much going on. Okay, really? Does she want to meet? I'm not going to sit there and look desperate. I am not going to keep texting her over and over and over again. And now her latest one is my mother-in-law is in town for 3 weeks, so I can't really do anything. I'm like, okay, you know what I said to her? That was the second time I tried to get her on the calendar. I said, Elaine, I totally get it. You have other priorities. And guess what? So do I. I just took my posture back. I am not going to be a sloth that continually tries to get her to get on my calendar. So I said, hey, Elaine, you've got other priorities, and guess what? So do I. I totally respect the fact that you got a mother-in-law that's in town. So really enjoy that time with her. I've got a lot of people that I talk to and meet every single day. Let me know if you ever want a piece of the pie, and I'll be right there for you. Moving on. I mean, come on, it's not worth it. And she can sit there and watch me go sapphire and diamond because she's on my freaking friends list and she's clicks like every time I put something inspirational. Well, she can just watch me. She can watch me get more pieces of the pie, and she can decide later if she wants in on the action. I'm going to keep going. She says, I love watching top recruiters on our team and how they take their business with them wherever they go. They view the entire world as full of possibilities. So, okay, so here's the thing. If one of your prospects joins another MLM, okay, don't want to step on toes. Are you ready? Put your big girl panties on, your big boy britches on. You ready? Here goes. Big woo. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Go make some new friends. Get out. Talk to people. Get out from behind your computer. Expand your Franks list. Expand your warm market. I'm serious when I say big woo, okay? Somebody joins another MLM. That's their loss. I mean, seriously, they just have no clue. And you've obviously done a good job of telling them about Plexus, and they can't figure out that Plexus is the thing they need to join. Do you really want them on your team anyway if they can't even tell what this is? See ya, don't want to be ya, gonna go find some more where that came from. I mean, that's literally what your attitude needs to be like. Really? I mean, seriously, who cares? Go let them join Pots and Pans International. Have fun. Have them go join Face Care International. Have them go join Candles Worldwide. Go have fun with that. Enjoy that. In the meantime, I'm going to be over here going freaking diamond. So you just enjoy that. I'm going to go get some more where that came from. Remember, how many people in the United States? What's the population? Over 330 million people. Go out and find somebody. There's more people where that came from. I don't mean to be harsh. I love all of you, but really, you've got to start seeing and believing in yourself that you can make new friends and you can expand your warm market. Your warm market is not limited. It needs to constantly be expanding. Okay, I just said all that. The world's full of people you can meet. Okay? And then she says, guess what? I'm going to keep reading so I can teach you how to use the list now. This is how you're going to use it. So what's your story? You need to always have a growing story library. You need to collect stories. Okay? The recent one that I saw on there was, what about somebody that has no thyroid on the runner's chat? What if, I know that this helps thyroid, but what about the person that has no thyroid? Okay, well, Susie McCall posted a massive thing in Blessed about some part of our products and what would help them if they have no thyroid. And when I saw that, I copied and pasted and saved it into my notes section. And then when somebody asked about that in runners, I just went and gave it to y'all because I collect testimonies and information about what helps with this and what helps with that and what helps with this and that and the other. So that when I'm ready to need to share something, I've got that. You know, that's why I posted Helen McFadden's testimony the other day in our timeline in our team page, because she has a huge testimony about Vital Biome and how it helped her with all of her menopausal symptoms. So when I'm ready to, when I run into somebody that's got that, boom, I'm just going to shoot that off to them. I collect pharmacist opinions on YouTube. I have 2 or 3 videos about pharmacists talking about our products. I've got videos about women talking about the business and how they researched it, and it's the greatest thing on the planet. I mean, I don't get rid of that stuff. And so what's the best video to send somebody about the business? I'm like, you need to have that ready to go. You need to have a library of things ready to send to people. And when you see those things out there, snatch them up, click save. If it's a video that's on Facebook or it's a post on Facebook, you can click the right hand tab. There's a little arrow, click it and click save. And then on your Facebook, on the side, there's a little legend or a menu over there. You have a little thing that says saved, and it's going to have all your saved posts, saved videos, saved everything. And you can send that stuff in Messenger. Okay? If it's a video, you can send it in Messenger as long as it's public. If it's a YouTube video, you can definitely send it to anybody that you want because that's public. YouTube is public. Okay? So collect stories, be a story collector. If you're telling these stories the right way, all of that should be undisputable facts. So stories sell. Facts tell, stories sell. So if all you're doing is you have somebody with a problem and you tell them all the facts about this product that's going to change their lives, they don't give a care. They're not going to buy Jack. They're not going to join you, and they're not going to join Jill or Jack or anybody else on the team. They don't care that a product is going to solve their problem. You tell them a story about how the product solves somebody else's problem that's similar to theirs, and now their emotions get involved. And they start to think, well, if it helped this gal over here, it certainly can help me, okay? Because people make emotional decisions, not logical decisions. Humans act on emotion. I just said everything on page 55. People decide to start a business and then go looking for reasons why it's a good idea. They act out of emotion. They decide to start a business and then they go look for all the reasons why they need to be doing it. Okay? Compelling story is what's going to allow you to draw people in emotionally. So you've got to capture their attention with why you wanted to start your business of your very own, and what you've done with it, or are you going to do with it if you haven't done anything with it yet, and how somebody like them can do something like this, and it will create emotional connection. A well-crafted story is fact. It's a fact wrapped in emotion. Stories are incredible. We had a gal stand on the stage at convention talking about stories and how she is nothing but, I forget her name. Somebody type it in the comments. She's got a website. You can go subscribe to her emails. There's a blog. She has videos on YouTube. She talks about storytelling. She's amazing. I think her name is Sarah Ritter or something like that. Leah, oh, there it is. See, I was totally off. Kendra Hall, Kindra. Good, Kendra Hall. So go out and find Kendra Hall, and she is the storytelling guru, and she's a 7-figure annual earner because of it. Okay? And I think she used to do network marketing, but she doesn't have to now. She's a consultant. Notice how all the big network marketers, well, not all of them, but a lot of big network marketers are now consultants because they don't, they make more money being a consultant than a big network marketer. Your why is your story. It's a part of your story. So as you develop and revise your why and write out and rewrite out your story, understand they are different. Your why is different from your story. Do not make your why your story. It's different. So how do you make your story? Start out this. Who you are and where you've been. Second thing, what's happened in your life to cause you to look for something more. Third thing, how you heard about your company and why you had to be a part of it. And 4, what's it doing for you or going to do for you. That's it. Notice that we didn't talk about, hold on, what's happened in your life caused you, okay, maybe you were looking for some product. So you might have been looking for the product. Not everyone's looking for the business. More people are looking for product and health answers, weight loss, etc. Okay? It's okay if you have that part of your story. These short stories need to be short. Talking about 45 seconds to a minute. Make sure that you can do a 45 second to a minute story. That's hard for me. I have to really work on that. So once you think that you've nailed it, time yourself. Now you're going to have to practice it. Remember, the person that you're talking to about your business and your products is more important than you are. They are more important than you. Hear me. I want all of you to hear me. You talking is not necessary. They are more important than you. Hear me. Everybody on this call, if you're watching the recording, the playback, you need to hear me. The person you're talking to is more important than yourself. So stop talking your head off to them. Stop it. And that includes if you sponsor a new ambassador and all you do is rattle off how to do the products and what's so great about Plexus, they're already sold. Send them a text about how to start the product. Do not just sit there and talk your head off at them. Do not blow up Plexus all over these people. Get to know them. Ask them some questions. Ask them what they love about life, what makes them so happy, what's going to make them happy, what do they dream about, what makes them cry, what gives them peace, what do they love the most about their family. Start getting to know them, make a connection with them, and get the topic off of Plexus and how it's changed your life and how they need to start the product. Don't do that. You are killing people and you're making them want to leave you. So don't throw up Plexus on people. Hear me when I say this. The person that you're talking to is more valuable at the time and more important than you are. So you need to listen to them and ask them questions. Okay? I really had to say that tonight. Tell your story in 45 seconds and then ask some questions. Ask them questions. Okay? Be quick about it. Make it compelling, but nothing redundant or superfluous. I think that's how you say that word, right, Mary? Superfluous? Superfluous? You don't say superfluous. You say superfluous. Okay. I'm not going to read page 57, but basically she's got a great story structure on how to do it. She breaks down where she is and where she's been. She breaks down what's happened in her life that caused her to look for something. Then how she heard about the company and why she had to be a part of it. And then she does number 4 and she puts it all together. And notice it's just about 4 or 5 sentences, literally. And you've got to memorize your thing. Once you get it done, you've got to memorize it, okay? Okay, so your story, 49 seconds tops, a minute tops, gives a strong foundation for a discussion that you're going to have with people. Okay, so then it gives you a place where they can springboard off of that. And you can say, what stood out? What did you relate to in my story? And you ask them a question and say, well, okay, what do you need most in your life? What do you dream about doing that you can't ever do? What do you dream about accomplishing that you can't ever seem to accomplish? Ask them questions. What do you leave out? Things that aren't essential. Okay, be ruthless in your editing. Leave out suggesting behavior that you don't want them to do. Okay, like this stuff. I started a product and I was just such a bad believer in myself and I had a poo-poo attitude. So I took advantage of the 60-day money-back guarantee. And then 7 months later, I quit being skeptical and I joined my best friend. That was me saying that. That's stupid. Because what am I suggesting that they do? Take advantage of the 60-day money-back guarantee and get your money back. I don't want them to do that. I want them to get in and get started now and love the product. So don't tell them stuff that you did that was stupid, because what it's going to do is it's going to make them do it too. You don't want them to do that. I heard about the company. I immediately researched everything I could about it over for the next 2 weeks. Okay, great. If you tell them that, they're going to start researching for 2 weeks. Do you want them to do that or you want them to join immediately? Don't tell them stuff that you did that's going to make them go and do that and delay them joining you. I used the products for 2 years and then I finally figured out how great this company was and then I joined. Oh, great. So you're going to tell them to use the product for 2 years and then figure out whether they want to join, right? That's not good. Don't mention it. Don't mention it. Personal product testimonials don't need to be in there. If you include a personal product testimonial, it's just going to suggest to your prospects and new business builders that they need to have their own testimony before they start the product. And guess what? They don't have to. They don't have to know anything about the product, and they don't have to have a testimony about it at all to start sharing. They just need to start sharing everybody else's stories and testimonials, right? Okay. Leave out an ending that doesn't contain quantifiables. What does that mean? Quantifiables are the numbers that show growth and the business, what it's doing for you. Never have an ending that doesn't contain numerical quantifiables. Okay, the biggest questions people have when considering a business like ours is some variation of, quote, does this business model actually work and can I do it too? So we can paint the picture of how we're growing and what we're earning through illustrating and explaining what that paycheck is allowing us to do over what time frame. For example, like this. Listen, I'm covering all my kids' activities now. All my products are paid. Here's another one. All my products are paid for and then some. All my products are paid for and a car payment. All my products are paid for and we get to eat out 4 extra times a week or a month. Okay, whatever the thing is. I've been in this business just 10 months and I'm already earning half of what I used to earn in my full-time job. Whatever the case may be, tell them a quantifiable example of what you're earning that they could expect they might be able to earn as well. Give them an example of a quantifiable income earning. After just a month in this business, I have a group of happy customers whose skin is changing. I earned back my initial investment and I made our car payment. So that's very simple. I got my welcome pack paid for and a car payment. And I got several people that are really getting a life change right now and they love what's happening to their bodies with these products. Okay? Use quantifiables. I don't want to read all that. You can still include the monetary quantifiables. You can still include monetary quantifiables. Imagine how you could turn the conversation to the other person by asking, if you had extra money coming in to cover your living expenses, what would you love to be able to do? Ask them a question. Your story is going to evolve over time. It's going to change because you're going to have more of a story. You're going to have a better story. It's going to improve over time. You're going to also find that as you get more comfortable and start experiencing more success, you're going to be willing to be more authentic with your story. But power lies in your own truth. People are drawn to you authentically, so don't be afraid to share your real story even before it's totally comfortable to do it. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Be vulnerable. Share your story. Get vulnerable. The more vulnerable you are, the more money you will make. I had a girl on this big Zoom that I did the other day with Senior Rubies. I'm going to tell you what she said to me at the end. It was a Q&A. One girl said to me, Suzanne, I love your type A personality, blah, 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 but I've got a bunch of yellows on my team. Hello, checkmate, so do I. I got a team filled with yellows. And she says to me, I seem to not be able to get across to my people that I'm not just in this for myself, that they are going to have to do X, Y, Z to be successful. And I'm trying to show them what to do. And they don't seem to understand that I really want what's best for them. That they think I'm all in it for myself. And I said, are you sharing your hang-ups with them? Are you talking to them about how hard it is for you? Are you telling them all the people that yelled at you this week and told you no? Are you telling them about how your best friend left you? Are you telling them about how your husband makes fun of you and says he doesn't want to hear the P word for the next 15 months in the house, even though you're earning a paycheck every month? Are you telling them that this is difficult for you, that you didn't realize how hard it was going to be, but you need their that you're so grateful for their support? Are you crying every now and then authentically because you're struggling and it's killing you and you're in the trenches with your team? Are they your family, or are they just people that are just hanging out watching you do a video once a week? I was like, look, these people need to be your family. You need to be vulnerable. And I told them all, you create the culture on your team. Be you. Take your makeup off, get your hair down, and just be you and love them. Tell them what you suck at. All the time. Tell them what you suck at, that you are not good at this, that you struggle with that. Tell them your realness. Be yourself, and they will appreciate you and make a connection with them. Have you called them on the phone individually? Have you Zoomed with these people? Or do you just throw a video up every week with you with your nice makeup and hair on? I mean, and boy, I tell you, I got some silence. I got some silence after that. Because that's what that person was doing. And you've got to connect. So when you go back to the story, thank you for saying that, by the way, about my real, I don't know how else to be is but real. You've got to be vulnerable with people. You got to be vulnerable on your Facebook timeline. You got to be vulnerable in your conversations. You got to be vulnerable. If you have a slow start, maybe this is you. For the last year, I've loved the wholesale discount and home-based business tax deductions. But I've treated this like a hobby. I'm surrounded by success stories of what can happen when you treat this thing like a business, and I'm ready to run. I'm looking for people to run with me. Are you one of them? That's being vulnerable. Look, I sucked for the last year because I just sat around watching everybody else succeed and treated this thing like a hobby. But I loved the product. Finally, I woke up, smelled the coffee, and realized, man, if they can do it, why can't I do it? So I'm looking for some runners who want to be real and do this with me. Are you one of them? I just said that in my own words. Or when I got started, I really got in my own way. I wasn't coachable, and I let fear get the best of me. But I'm surrounded by success stories and what can happen when you're coachable and follow these simple, duplicable business tips. And I'm not going to let my fear keep me from reaching my goals. Are you somebody that wants to reach your goals too? How about let's do this together? Adapt your story to your audience. Talking to somebody with kids who has no desire to have kids. Briefly touch on the fact that you're a mom to illustrate how little free time you have, but don't focus on the emotional pull to have more flexibility for your kids, okay? So adapt your story to the audience of the people that you're talking to. Build your story library, constantly collect more. Stay-at-home moms, professional full-time jobs, working moms, single moms, lawyers, real estate professionals, financial pro. We've got diamond documentaries filled with them, okay? Age groups, all that stuff. Create a culture on your team to share the success stories. In fact, that's what I think we need to start doing. I think we need a separate testimonial page. I already have one, but maybe I should start revving it up again. Man, that's a goal. We need to load all of our testimonies in there. And they can be non-compliant because they're in a secret group. They can be before and after pictures, full body. They can be all that stuff because it's secret. It just can't be shared on Facebook. So cultivate your stories, add it to a library, your own personal library. I heard a really great tip the other day. One of these senior rubies, which is amazing, she has her own Facebook group and she added her spouse to it, but nobody else, so that it could just be her. And she just adds stories in there. Adds stories, videos to share, adds all kinds of junk in there so that when she has something that she needs to share, she goes in there and does a search, boom, she shares it from there. Copies and pastes. That's a really great idea. And you could also do that for teams, like testimonial team groups, obviously. I'm moving on. We're done. Basically done. Facts tell, stories sell. Bottom basement, that's the whole concept that we're trying to do. If you're constantly feeding yourself with stories about how your company and your products are positively impacting people, you'll increase your own belief and you'll be able to inspire other people too. Next week, we are going to be doing chapters, let me check my calendar, Hang on. Chapter, what is this? This is the 18th. This is the 19th. We're going to do chapter 5 only. Chapter 5 is a big chapter. Take a look at it. It's pretty big. Okay, that's why we're only doing chapter 5. All right. And we are going to do it on Sunday night, the 25th at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're getting ready to start our discussion. I'm so glad that all of you guys joined us. I'm going to turn off the recording and say God bless. Go Freedom Team. Go Plexus. Awesome sauce. And good night.